So I saw something interesting today in a post on social media that said, and this was a guy debunking the statement, but it was interesting nonetheless, and I figured I would dive into it. It was Think Bigger Coaching, I think. I don't know. I don't know the guy personally. He took issue with this statement, and I agree with him. So what he said was the most toxic statement that he's heard in a while is, if you can think of anything in the world that you would like to do besides acting, go do that instead of acting, because acting is really hard. Before I dive into the statement, I'm going to start off with, I think we're overusing the word toxic. It really feels like it's a buzzword that we've all jumped onto, and we just start reaching out and just kind of labeling things toxic. Ooze. Ooze is toxic. Poisons tend to be pretty toxic. I don't like this idea of treating words as toxic, mostly because I don't like giving legitimacy to the idea that, you know, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will fucking kill me. No. Words can hurt, for sure. For absolute sure. It can hurt you, they can knock you down, but my brothers and sisters in Christ, like, at some point here, you just gotta, somebody says something mean, you gotta breathe a little bit. And just, not everything is the end of the world. Somebody says something mean, you just gotta kind of, there are some notable exceptions, I'm sure. Racial slurs, easy exceptions. Those shouldn't be said. And somebody's going to tell me that, Nick, there are all kinds of other slurs that you can throw around. Okay. You shouldn't bully people. But if bullying is simply verbal, then there's an easy way to fix that. Or if bullying is strictly online, there's an easy way to fix that. You reach up to the top of the laptop and you close it. Now, this might be a generational gap, because I know Gen Z is very attached to what the comments section says. And it may be that I'm just, behind the times. That just may be it. But I've worked in mostly industries where you don't get praised. You typically end up with just sort of negative feedback if something went wrong. And it's okay. I mean, you get negative feedback, you deal with it. That's like a weird half burp I just did. But anyways, my issues with the phrase toxic statement aside, the statement of, if you want to be an actor but there's other stuff you want to do as well, then you should go do that because acting is really hard. That's a nonsense statement. It's just pure nonsense. It's like saying, oh, I would love to, in my case, I went off and became a lawyer. Now I'm an actor who happens to also do legal consulting work. If anything, it makes me a better actor because I've had more life experience. Am I behind the curveball? The curveball? It's not a pitch. Am I behind the 8-ball in terms of where I want to be in my acting? Yes, I would like to be competing with Emmy Award-winning actors because I'm a competitive SOB. But realistically, I have a lot of life experience to draw on. You stick me in a courtroom, I'm going to be right at home. It's going to be real life experience that I can draw on. I'm not going to have to work hard to reach that substitution and get to a place where I can believably be the attorney in that show, in any kind of legal drama or comedy. Casting directors. But no, people of the internet who are aspiring to be actors, just because you have multiple diverse interests, don't let that dissuade you from being an actor. If you love acting, there's no reason not to give it a try. And those other interests you have may help you get there. Let's just say you are really interested in sales. Most people aren't typically just interested in sales. They're interested in helping people, finding solutions, creative solutions to problems. Let's say you're interested in finding creative solutions to problems, and you find a niche where you find you're a pretty good salesperson. That's hugely beneficial. First of all, there's lots of roles that involve sales. Also, you have to sell yourself to casting a lot of times. Like, you have to sell them on the idea of you as the actor. On top of that, it's really hard to make money at acting in the early goings. And the romanticism of the struggling artist is a falsehood. It doesn't exist. It does exist. There are struggling artists, but the romanticism of, oh, I need to be a struggling artist in order to become the actor I was meant to be is a falsehood. If you can put money in, if you have money and can put food on your table, it's not going to hurt your acting. You're just going to be more well fed when you go to an audition. Possibly have better sleep. Chris Pratt was 100% broke when he got his big break. But I'm not going to pitch that to somebody as the ideal way to go about it. There is no ideal way to go about it. So just because you have a money-making interest, don't just abandon it. Acting classes people take acting classes every day. If you went to college and you got a degree in acting, great. You can use that to get a different job. Now, if you want to run a lot of, if you want to wait tables, you want to bartend, and you really just want that life while you're trying to become an actor, that's not a bad idea, but you just need to keep in mind that other interests will not harm you. And, possibly bartending and waiting is a great way to get a look at humanity and come to understand it and become a better actor in that way. Okay. But if you want to work as a lawyer, there's nothing wrong with that. Take acting classes at night. Sidebar. If you have a 4-year acting degree and you say to yourself, I am now fully trained and ready to be a professional actor, every single casting director I've talked to, every single person in the biz I've talked to will tell you that 4-year acting degree is great as a way to start and network. But if you're not in acting classes after you get that degree, you are making a big mistake for just your future in general. You will become a much better actor with continuing education. Every profession needs continuing education. It's just that nobody tells actors that until 6 auditions down the road. That's a little generous, but you need to be in classes because you need to be working on the craft of acting and you need to be pushing that envelope. I'll get more into that tomorrow. But for right now, I 100% disagree with the statement that you should only be an actor if it's the only thing you could possibly dream of. No, that's a gatekeeping ideology from somebody who probably has no business gatekeeping. Like, if somebody says that to you, it's more likely than not that they're mostly just interested in trying to keep competition out of the market, which is scummy. Like, you should welcome competition, right? There's 110 different guys in Hollywood who look exactly like me, and yet my dumb ass is like, bring it on. I like that. I like competition. Tell me there's someone better than me. Somebody else just entered the market? Booyah. Give me a challenge. Set us up against each other. Pit us against each other. Number one, we'll probably become pretty good friends because, honestly, my competitive style is always friendly. Doesn't mean I don't want to, beat you into the ground, but I like competing. I don't dislike you. I just like competing. sort of a roundabout way to get back to the point of future actors of the world. If somebody comes up to you and says, oh, you're also good at math, you should just go pursue that because acting is really hard. Don't listen to them. It's a ridiculous gatekeeping ideology that you don't need. You don't need that kind of negativity. Just go out there, go find that role for you, and oh, by the way, knowing that much math, you're going to master whatever jargon you get in a script. After going through ridiculous amounts of proofs and equations and writing through those ridiculous whiteboards of equations, engineers of the world, you're going to get handed a script. You're going to get handed a script like Jack Ryan, and you're going to just breeze right through all that jargon. You're just going to own that jargon because you know why? Your life is jargon. You know jargon. You live jargon. You breathe jargon. You eat it for breakfast. Lawyers, same thing. Jargon-heavy scripts, you're going to have a leg up. Doesn't mean that somebody else is still not going to get the role, but it means you have a pretty good shot. And it means you have a good base to go be an actor. You don't have to be an actor. You can choose to be an actor, but don't make that choice based on the fact that you have other interests. Make that choice because you want to be an actor and rope all your other interests in and use them in support, whether that's financially or in helping you be a more well-rounded person. You're much more interesting the more interest you have. So, future actors, don't be afraid. Hope this made sense. See you tomorrow.